Hello, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this segment of Uniquely Union, a series of interviews with Union County residents and business people that make our county the fine place that it is to live and work. Joining us today is Danny Cooke, who is a very interesting person. Of course, I have to put in a little plug for Danny's sister, Norma Jones. Norma was my administrative assistant for 13 years. And I suffered greatly when Norma retired. I miss her dearly.
I bet you did.
She was outstanding. And among Danny's other talents, you are the announcer for the Union County High School sports.
That's my brother, actually.
Oh, that's you.
That's Harold. Yeah.
Okay.
That's my brother Harold.
Well, I'm sorry. I confused you on that.
I did used to announce the baseball game.
Okay.
A year ago. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But you're a county commissioner.
That's correct.
And most interestingly, I suppose, to us, you are the founder of the Union County Opry.
I'm one of three, yes.
Okay, so if you could tell us a little bit about how that got started.
All right, I'll do my best. You mentioned county commission, so we were at Big Ridge Park. They were doing, I think, their 5-year plan, doing an annual meeting. I'm pretty sure it's their 5-year plan. But anyway, I was there doing a presentation for the park, or doing a presentation trying to get some improvements to the park. Well, one of those improvements was an amphitheater, a large amphitheater for festivals and just whatever. And after the meeting was over with, Sidney Jesse was there and Deborah Keck was at the meeting. So after the meeting was over, Sidney, we were all standing around talking, and he said, we get this amphitheater built, we'll start our own little Union County Opry. So I didn't really think much about it. I heard what he said, but it kind of went in one ear and out the other. I do my best thinking when I lay down to go to sleep. So, so when I laid down that night, my eyes flew open. And I thought, if we could get the high school auditorium, we could go ahead, and that's a good idea. We could go ahead and start this thing and maybe raise some money to help out when we start the amphitheater. So the next day I called Sidney and I told myself, not slept a wink. I said, we need to get together and talk about this thing. So we did. We brought Deborah in because Deborah's good about getting grant money and first one thing and another. So we brought her in and we sat down and talked about it for on and off for a month, I guess. And I get on the phone, start calling some acts, some artists, and lo and behold, everyone I called, most of these artists are booked out a couple of years ahead. But the one that so happened, the dates I needed, they had open. And it's kind of like, almost like an act of God that all this stuff came together. But it really did come together. And so we all got together and we met among ourselves a few times. Then finally we had a kind of a large community meeting, had 15 or 20 people there. And when we started the meeting, we had $200. When we left, we had a little over 1,000. So we kind of off and running a little bit. But mainly going on faith, hoping people would buy tickets and that we could pay these entertainers when they came in. Mm-hmm. So we opened up some sponsorships for stage banners and whatnot. And before I forget it, a big thank to Union County Board of Education and Carmen for letting us have the auditorium. Without the auditorium, there would be no Union County Opry. So we can't go without thanking them. But anyway, we got it all together, and we had our first show in April of last year, and it was 15 local bands from Union County, and about 12 of those 15 had either somebody playing in them or that had sang on a national charted record. And it was amazing how much talent, when I started digging this stuff up, that kept coming out of the woodwork, that had been on national records. So we got all those bands together, what was left, a lot of them was done, died and gone, but what was left out of them, what we could salvage, we got them all together and had the tribute show in April. And We had so many bands, we knew it was going to be the eighth wonder of the world if it all went off smooth, which it naturally didn't. We had video troubles, had sound troubles, but we got through it, got it all worked out. We brought the Moron Brothers in May, and they just blew everybody away. And from that point on, we had a pretty steady summer. Everybody enjoyed it, and everybody we've not had 3 complaints, I don't guess, all year. So all in all, it went really well.
Now, when you say there was a tribute show in April, elaborate a little bit on that. Tribute to what?
Okay, Union County, everybody knows that Chet Atkins, Roy Acuff, Carl Smith, Lois Johnson, and that tribute show started out as a tribute to them. That was the whole idea, do a tribute to these 4. Because, in case you don't know it, Union County, to my knowledge, is the only county in the United States with 3 Hall of Fame members. And soon will probably be 4. Kenny Chesney will probably be there one of these days. So that is a pretty good title to have out of a little county like Union County. So we just couldn't understand why somebody hadn't already captured this and done something with it. And so that's where the tribute show came about. That's what it was, just going to be a short show tribute to them. So when I started digging out information, and we got a lot of information from the museum, Wanda and Martha, they helped us out with a lot of that. You just couldn't stop there. Because Better Way Quartet, for instance, is several of those members have kids now that are nationally known, playing nationally. And then Dwayne Warwick from the Kingdom Heirs out of Hinders Creek. We even had them, some of the original ones there. You start digging in it and you start turning these people over that's had national success, there's not a stopping point. We probably missed some, but we had, like I said, 15 bands before we got everybody covered in it. And it turned out to be a 4-hour show to get them all on stage.
And you know, that's fascinating because I go to meetings all the time, educational meetings, and people say, "Where are you from?" You say, "Union County." Where's that? North of Knoxville. North of Knoxville. And then you try to explain to them, you know, have you ever heard of Roy Acuff? Most of them not now, because it's been so many years. So would you say that sometimes maybe we don't represent ourselves enough? We have all this great hidden talent and we just haven't promoted it enough.
That's exactly right. Most of the people we bring in, most of the acts we bring in, know of these people. And when you call them up and start talking to them, they ask you where you're from. Well, they don't know where Maynardville is. But you mention one of those 4, and they know exactly where Maynardville is and what it's about. And somewhere in the next sentence or 2, they'll say, "Yeah, we'll come," because of that right there.
Right.
You know, but it's kind of a dying thing, and we just don't work. We don't want those people's work to die. We want to keep it going. We don't know where this thing's going to go. We don't know how long it's going to last. But through our sponsors, all the people that comes and buys tickets, they're all just a little bitty part that keeps this thing going. And everybody enjoys the show so much. I hope it never stops. I hope we eventually get an event center where it can happen all the time.
Now, I know there's a danger when you mention sponsors of leaving somebody out.
Oh, yeah.
But maybe mention some of the, maybe 5.
Okay.
Not intending to leave anybody out.
Well, I hope, and this is just off the cuff, and I apologize if I missed somebody, but Woods Music was our first sponsor. Wanda Byerly gave us some money through to sponsor the museum a little bit, so we did that. Then we've got Tracy Flatford with TriStar Heating and Air. He came on board first, bought a big sponsorship. Bi-County Propane bought a large sponsorship, and I'm going blank, and I apologize, but there are about 2 more that I just can't, off the top of my head, I can't remember. But the little sponsorships is what paid the bills. Back in the mid-90s, I used to run sound for J. Don Gibson in Tazewell. He did a similar thing to what we're doing. And he had this little booklet, booklet that was just full of business card ads. And they'd have a picture of the stars in it, and these business card ads. So I kept one of those booklets, and I got it out and looking at it, and I got to adding all these up, and I thought, $100 a piece or so, that's a lot. That's a lot of money. So we started selling these little ads to the businesses, and that's really what got us going. The first show, the tribute show, was mostly local people. We didn't have to pay. They all volunteered to do it just to get a video, a history video, for history. So the money we got off of that show and the ads got us up and running. Now the Christmas show we did, the Union County government, Mayor Bailey, they hired us to do that show, and that show really turned some heads. Our Opry band, they did a fantastic job. I had people from the county come up to me after the show and apologize for not coming to the shows. They said we had no idea it was that well organized and this band was that good, so we had no idea. And they apologized, and we'll be here next year. So hopefully the Christmas show turns some heads and we'll get some more people in. But we've been happy with the crowds. Actually, we're at the break-even point. Nearly every show we've done was pretty much at the break-even point. If we could have got another 100 people at each show, we would be money ahead. But we're thankful that we didn't go in a hole. We didn't make a lot of money, but we did buy a lot of sound equipment. We're kind of self-sufficient now. We can run our own sound, and the school system put in some new lights, and we finally figured out how to run those things. And we have actually a show now, other than just a singing type thing. We actually have a show now. So I hope everybody comes out this season and supports us.
So you just completed the first season, first year. How many shows total did you all do the first year?
We did 9 last year. We're doing 10 this year. I've got a lot of local bands. Only with 9 shows, it's just hard to get them all on stage, because you got big entertainers coming in. You have to give them the stage, you have to give them all the time they want or whatever. So it's hard to get a lot of local people on. So while school's out in June, we're going to do 2 shows in June, and the second show in June will be a spot for local bands to come and perform, and we'll get some of that stuff, kind of make them happy, and hopefully we'll have a good crowd they can play to.
So were the shows from the first season, are they all recorded?
We did our best to record them. We missed one show. We missed the August show, but the rest of them we've got recorded. And while we're on that, let me go ahead and throw out a little plug here. We've got them recorded. We have a photographer, Dreamcatcher's Photography, Kelly Irick. She took pictures all year. She's a lady running around in front, taking pictures of all the band, crowd shots and everything. We're going to take the best pictures out of all her collection and put them in a book, the first year of the Opry. And we're going to try to get that together in the next 3 or 4 months. We hope we have it before this year is over with. But she's got some fantastic pictures, and we're going to try to do that. We're going to take the September show, I believe it is, the Opry band performed on it. We're going to take footage from that, try to work it into a DVD. We're going to take we're going to take the Christmas show and work it into a DVD. And if you'll make us a little donation to the Opry, we're going to give you both DVDs and the book.
Oh, that's outstanding.
So that's kind of what that's for.
And that serves many purposes, not the least of which is to record history.
Right.
And that's one, of course, the dying arts that we have, is that our history's slipping away from us.
It is.
Very successful first year. I understand you had many guests from many locations.
Oh, wow. You're not going to believe me when I tell you this, but we've had people from Jamaica to Hawaii. We had a lady from Jamaica that came twice. We had a person from Hawaii that was at our first show. We've had people from 11 different states and 41 Tennessee counties to come to the Union County Opry. And that was what we was after when we tried to put this thing together, is to bring tourism into Union County and let them spend money, help us out, and then go home. Mm-hmm. The sad thing about it, we had the mayor from a little town in Birmingham, and his wife came, and I bumped into him out in the hallway by accident, just pure accident, bumped into him. And he introduced himself, and I about fell when he told me where he's from and who he was. And I got to talking to him, and I said, wow, I said, where are y'all staying? And they said, well, unfortunately, we got to drive back to Gatlinburg, stay all night. So that is one of the problems we have. We don't have a lot of lodging. I mean, we do have Big Ridge, and we have, I think Beach Island's got some cabins now and that kind of thing. That helps a little, but man, I wish we had somewhere they could stay, and that would really help us a lot.
But maybe this is an incentive to help us get some good hotels, motels.
It's a piece of the puzzle.
Yes.
It's just a little piece. And if we ever get to where we can have our own building and we can have regular shows, and that would actually really contribute to that. Mm-hmm. It really would.
Did you have any idea when you started this how successful it'd be the first year?
I think we was too scared to think about it. We've done a lot of praying, hoping it would be. But, the first show we started, I don't remember exactly when we did our video announcing the opera. It seemed like it was in February maybe. And April was a lifetime away when we did that. And it was just like overnight, April was here, and every month, from month to month, it just no time we've done another show. But we all enjoy it. We got so many people that volunteer. Like I said, we got the Union County Opry Band, and we're going to use them a lot this year. Everybody enjoys them. They're great musicians, actually professional level musicians, great singers. We got them. My wife, she makes the tickets, she prints the tickets, cuts the tickets, sells the tickets, keeps the seating chart, marks everything off, and I mean, she works herself to death doing that. And of course, me, Sidney, and Deborah, we're somewhere all the time doing stuff like this, trying to promote it. Glenda at the bank, First Century Bank, she comes, her and Deborah's daughter, Nicole, sells tickets out front. Rodney Malone does the barbecue. We just have so many people that helps put this thing on. There's no way we could ever do it and pay everybody.
Right.
So it's a volunteer thing, and they're all 100% Union County Opry. I mean, they'll do whatever they got to do to make sure it gets done. And that's what it's all about, just trying to help a community.
So what is the cost of a ticket?
Okay, some of our shows, it just depends on how much we have to pay the entertainer, to be quite honest about it. And we're going to try to make that more clear this year. Like our first show in April, we're going to call it Mayberry Comes to Maynardville. If we have any Andy Griffith fans out there, you'll love this show. Everybody remembers the Darling family on Andy Griffith. Well,
yes.
We got Rodney Dillard, which is Rodney Darling. He's going to be there. And he's got a band. I think he's the last one left out of the Darlings. But he's coming. He's a great entertainer. He talks a lot about the Andy Griffith Show, tells stories that happened during the shoots and everything. We got a guy from Halls. His name is Sammy Sawyer. He does Barney Five.
Oh yeah.
He'll be emceeing the thing and working the crowd, and he'll probably let that gun go off. You know how that is. Mm-hmm. But anyway, he'll be there. We actually got Floyd the barber. We got one that does Floyd. We got one that does Briscoe Darling. That's going to be a fun show. That'll be a $10 show, actually.
That's a great price for a show of that quality, I think.
Great price. We won't make any money off of that show, but we want to get you there And the city of Maynardville, I'm pretty sure, is going to help us out on that show since it's Mayberry comes to Maynardville. They're going to pitch in and help us out a little bit, we hope. And that way we can hold the ticket price down to $10. Now, in May, we got T. Graham Brown. All you classic country people knows T. Graham Brown, the guy that can turn the wine back into water. He's coming out of Nashville. That'll be a big show. We're getting a lot. The tickets are not on sale yet, but they will be in the next week or so. And we've got tickets on that one. On the bigger shows, we do selected seating, and we start out the first 3 or 4 rows at $30. Then they drop off $25, $20, down to $15, and we do that to try to keep some, low-cost tickets for people that can't afford a big price ticket. That's the reason we break it down like that. Most of our out-of-town people will buy the $30 tickets or the $25 tickets, and there's not a bad seat in the house. I mean,
that's right.
There's not a bad seat. So that leaves us kind of a loophole that we can sell some cheaper tickets to keep so everybody can still come. We'll have, I don't know, probably 3 or 4 $10 shows, and then the rest of them will be broke down like that.
So how many shows total do you anticipate for the second season?
We got 10.
Got 10.
Got 10 on the books.
And of course, something that people like me who like to eat are always interested in.
Oh, yeah.
Tell us a little bit about refreshments. I'm sure there'll be some available.
Everybody knows Hog Haven Barbecue. Rodney Malone.
Oh, yes.
He does barbecue. He does hot dogs, chips. He's got pretty much what you need. We open the doors at 5 o'clock. We kind of noticed after we got to using Rodney that people would come early just to eat.
Sure.
So we normally open at 5:30, and so we backed it up. We open the doors now at 5 o'clock. If they want to come and eat, let them come and eat, and they can sit around, talk a little while, then go in the auditorium. Shows all start at 7 o'clock. But most people enjoy Rodney's barbecue, and he does a good job with it.
So how many people would you estimate were at the first show last season?
First show was close to 700 on the first show.
That's amazing for a first show like that.
We tried to add up what we had all year, and we're hitting somewhere around 5,000 people that came last season.
That's great.
It's more than we expected, but still we could use a few more.
And advertising plays into this, of course.
It does.
Talk a little bit about the means you go through to advertise.
Okay, well, Historic Union County has helped us a lot. They're always doing something to help us. PBS TV, nobody dreamed that we would actually be on television when we started this thing. PBS contacted us wanting to do a story about the Union County Opry. So we got with them, we met with them. They did a special that aired last November. You can see it. Pull up YouTube and go to Union County Opry in YouTube, and it'll pull up the special. I think it's got a picture of Chet Adkins, and the other one is a commercial they ran for us. It's got a picture of Carl Smith. You can view them both segments. They actually gave us an award. They call it the Be More Award, and we've got to go next month to accept that award. And now we're the award-winning Union County Opry. We had no idea any of this would come about in our first year. Also, the Tennessee Tourism Guide, Vacation Guide, emailed us wanting 2 pictures to put in that guide for this year. It costs a lot of money to get in that guide, and they called us and wanted 2 pictures. And we're on the music pathway now.
This is amazing.
It
really is
unbelievable how it's all. I tell everybody it's just an act of God, and there's no way you could spend enough money to make all this happen.
Right.
You just couldn't.
You shared with me before we started this interview an email.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about the email, or you might want to read it to us, or.
I would love to read it if I can see it here. Let's see if I can get it pulled up. This was a lawyer out of Knoxville that came to the Balsam Range show, and Sidney met him out in the hallway. And of course, Sidney can talk to anybody for a long time. So they were talking out in the hallway, and somehow or other they wound up sharing each other's email information. And he sent this email to Sidney, and I hope he don't mind me reading it, but it's so good, I want to read it for you. And it's in a nutshell what we were wanting to do. We're wanting people to come and spend money here in our county to help us. It helps the Opry, it helps your taxes, it helps the school, it helps everybody. Everybody gets just a little bit of that tax money. It helps the roads, helps everybody. So, now this is to Sidney. He's talking to Sidney. He says, "You are to be commended for your efforts in organizing and promoting the Union County Opry. As I shared, your show last Saturday brought me and 6 family members and friends, and 1 friend from Atlanta, to Maynardville Saturday night for dinner and the Balsam Range show. Between dinner tickets and purchase of Balsam Range CD, Union County Opry t-shirts, and the like, I guess we spent close to $700 in your fair town." That's a lot of money for one
It is.
person to spend. And it says, "As we discussed, Union County has a rich history in country music and bluegrass, so the Union County Opry is a no-brainer. Upon return to work today, I was asked repeatedly if I made it to the big show, which I replied, of course. When asked if the cold weather bothered us, I said, why no, I thought the auditorium was quite comfortable. That drew odd looks until I clarified I was not at the Garth Brooks show, but the big show in Maynardville." So rest assured, we will spread the word of the Union County Opry, and we will return. So that's a great email. Stuff like that is what makes you do it again. That keeps you going.
Right.
A lot of things get you discouraged and down, but then you get something like that and it picks you back up. And,
The thing I admire the most about this effort on the part of you all is that you're not in it for the money.
oh no.
That wasn't your primary objective starting out.
No, we're a 501(c) non-profit, and nobody takes a dime. It all goes back into. We had so much money to spend to get started. I mean, we had to buy equipment, printers. We don't waste a penny. We make our own tickets. We make our own flyers, our own posters. We do everything. So we had a lot of money to spend to get up and running. So through the sponsors and first one thing another, as we went along, we kept purchasing what we needed. And after the Christmas show in December, we wasn't broke, but we didn't have much money either. so with the good Lord's help, we made it through. I just tell everybody, well, we survived. So we're just glad we survived.
I mean, just for my part, Union County, lots of times we live in the shadow of Knox County.
Right.
Because we're so close to them.
Yeah.
It's just a great morale booster for our county and our people.
It is. I bump into people all the time. They don't know me from Adam, but they say, you're the Opry guy. I'm one of them.
And it's good to know, it's just a good feeling to know you live in a place that we have all these prestigious musicians.
Oh.
And you don't think about it because they don't promote themselves necessarily.
And to think about how many we had that's done passed away that didn't care anything about going to Nashville. They just sat around on the porch and picked, and in church and whatnot. But great musicians that could have went on. So I don't know what it is about this area, but they're everywhere. You almost. I don't sing much on the Opry, but they'll aggravate me. I'll get out there a little every now and then, but it's almost intimidating to get out there because you got all these good musicians out there watching you. That's much better than you are, and they're everywhere. Every little nook and cranny in Union County is full of them.
Now, do you yourself play a musical instrument?
I play just a little bit of about anything, but nothing real well. I play the guitar, and that's my main instrument's guitar. But Sidney Jesse, the other commissioner involved with this, he plays banjo and guitar and bass. He plays in the Opry band. Can I mention a little bit about the Opry band?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay. I wasn't going to do a band, an Opry band. I was going to just hire a local band, to just kind of work for the Opry. And a couple of that kind of fell through, and I thought, well, there's one guy I want to call. If he says yes, I'll put a band together. I knew this guy from 35 years ago. His name is Ronnie Sellers. He plays steel guitar. And I hadn't talked to him other than I got to be friends with him on Facebook, and we talked a little bit on Facebook. So I called Ronnie, and or not called him, I sent a message. I said, are you playing on Saturday night? Well, I knew if he's on playing on Saturday night, it was strike three. You're going to get him. He said, no, I play on Friday night. And I thought, all right now, we might be on something. So I told him what we were doing, and I said, would you be interested in helping form this Union County Opry band? I told him about the Opry, and he thought of me and said, yeah. I said, I think I would like that. So I got him. And then my nephew, Rusty Relaford, I had a little problem with Rusty is a heavy metal guitar guy. And I thought, well, we can calm him down and get him doing country, because he knows every note on the guitar, upside down, backwards. I said, we'll get him playing country. So I called him, and he said, I don't think I'll have time for that. So I said, well, okay, if you change your mind, call me back. A day or so, he called me back and said, how many times we got to play? And I said, just 3 or 4. He said, I think I'd like to do that. So I'd have a guitar player then. And then Jerry Graves, I bumped into him, and he told me about this drummer. And I was a little worried about a drummer because the sound system there at the school that we was having to use at the time, I only had one extra mic line by the time you hooked up the band. And I said, a drum takes about 6. So I was a little worried about that. So he said, I would like to do it, but I'll just go ahead and tell you might not want me when I tell you. So I play electric drums, but it only takes 1 line for my drums. I said, you're hard.
Talk about an act of God.
There you go. So then Sidney came in. Johnny Rayleigh plays the bass. A Union County boy. Sidney's wife, Melinda, sings. My daughter-in-law, Jessica Hill, out of Luttrell, she sings. Her and Melinda, no way you can hook them up wrong. I mean, they just perfect tone and everything all the time. The most odd thing, all this stuff's kind of odd how it came about. We needed a front guy, a lead singer for the band. And I thought, I didn't know who to get. But I was at Jim Woods' one day. I stopped to get something. And a guy named Ira Braden, I didn't know him from Adam, but he knew I was messing with Opry. Jim had his group down there playing music one Friday morning. Ira pulled me outside and said, I want you to listen to this. Now, this was before I started putting the band together. He said, I want you to listen to this. So he had it on his phone, and this guy was singing a song. And he had a unique voice that was just a little bit different than everybody you hear on the radio today. I said, yeah. I said, he's got a good voice. I mean, a good, pure voice right in time. But so now we listened to it, and I thought, okay. Wasn't thinking a thing about him singing for the band or anything, because we hadn't even put it together yet. So I happened to think about him. I called Jim. I said, can you get me that guy's number? I told him what had happened about Ira letting me listen to it. He said, yeah. I said, that guy's name's Craig. He said, I'll get you his number. So I called this Craig just out of nowhere. I introduced myself, tell him what I was doing. I said, would you like to try out for the Opry band? Be the lead man for the Opry band. He said, when and where? I'll be there. So all those guys came together in a freaky situation. But now, if you know anything about playing music, you don't know if it's going to work or not until you get them all together. Some, even though they're all professional and good, it just don't gel sometimes, But I got them together. They all got together one Sunday afternoon after church, and They sat down and just tuck off on some, I think a Marshall Tucker rip or something or other. And just as soon as they hit the first note, it was just like harmony, boom. I thought, hey, this is going to work. But we've got a diverse band. They're from gospel all the way up to heavy metal, and it's a little different sound than what you hear. They can play any type of song, like I say, from gospel. We can do 70s country, 70s rock, outlaw, anything you want them to do. Just tell them a song and give them about 15 minutes and they can do it for you. So I'm really proud of the Opry band. Alan Capps, the fiddler, he's my great nephew. Rusty called him and asked him if he wanted to do it, and he said sure. He's done it. So the Christmas show came around. Ronnie had some stuff he had to do, the steel guy. So we got a guy named Danny Hudson, plays with a group called 3DC, a Three Dog Night, which is going to be here in September, actually. Remember the old Three Dog Night back in the 70s? They do that kind of stuff. He came and played keyboard for us during the Christmas show. And, man, you'd think Jerry Lee Lewis is up there. He's a professional, really professional guy. He really helped the band a lot. So we've just been fortunate. Everything just fell in place. It's scary. And you're scared to death something's going to fall apart, but everything just fell in place. Couldn't be happier.
It's amazing that you've got that wide of a diversity and they all come together in one group.
Yeah.
But what possibilities that gives them for access to practically any kind of music.
Yeah, if somebody needs a band for a wedding, they can do it. We've had churches to try to get us to come and sing, and I felt a little bad about it because they sang country and everything else, but I thought, all of these people sings gospel music and come from a gospel background. So I think the next time somebody calls, I think I'll just let them go.
I think I would too. I believe that I would go for that too.
Melinda Jessie, she's got a song that'll stick with her the rest of her life. She did Beulah Land on one of the shows. Every show since, we have 8 or 10 people want her to sing Beulah. She's had to sing it 2 or 3 times, and man, she knocks it out of the park. And so, it'd be a blessing to somebody maybe.
Do you think there's any possibility that the Opry band might put out a DVD in the near future or a CD?
Yeah, we were hoping to do that during the break. And actually Craig, the lead singer, is having one made right now, but it's not with an Opry band. But we're going to do our best to get one made before the first show, a CD. And we're going to try to take the couple of good shows that we've had on film and put them in a DVD. So we wasn't really planning on that when it happened, so we don't know how. If it turns out good enough, we're going to do that. Next year we're going to be a little more careful, record it a little better, so we can actually have a real good DVD come out of it. So,
any final thoughts you'd like to leave with us?
Our first show is in April. Let me run down the show. We got time to run down the show?
We sure do.
We've got an exciting year. I think it is anyway. Okay, as I mentioned, April 4th will be Mayberry Comes to Maynardville with Rodney Dillard. May 2nd is the T. Graham Brown. The Opry Band's going to open up a T. Graham Brown. So that'll be their Opry Band's first show will be May 2nd. June 13th is a family band called the Family Sowell. Sowell. Everybody YouTube them. They range from probably 12-year-old to 25-year-old. They're a bluegrass gospel band, and they are really good. They just got through doing a CD with Ben Isaac. And if you know anything about Ben Isaac, everything he touches turns to gold. So I figure by the time they come in June, they're going to be probably on top of the charts. And that's kind of people we try to target, people that's doing that kind of thing. June 27th, the local band showcase. We got a guy, Ryan Redmond. He's from Newport. He come and helped us out with the Christmas show. He's going to bring his guys and sing a little bit, but the rest of it will be local people. June the 27th. July 18th, this one here, anytime you get a chance to go to the bathroom, you better go. So this one here is going to be funny. We got the Moron Brothers and Tim White on the same show, and I don't know how that's going to work out, but I promise you it's going to be funny. August 15th, we got the IBMA Entertainers of the Year, Joe Mullins and the Radio Ramblers. The Opry Band will be helping them out. September 12th is the Three Dog Night celebration, the Three Dog celebration, and the Branham Brothers. That'll be a country, classic rock. We get accused of being too much bluegrass, which I don't think that's possible, but we get accused of that some. So we've tried to make it more diverse this year. We're trying to mix it up a little bit. Now, when I say classic rock, it's not going to be head banging so loud you can't stand it, but it'll be good. If you've ever heard of Three Dog Night, you know all our songs are kind of smooth, that old 70s kind of stuff. Everybody tells me this would be the best show we have. I don't know. I kind of think I'm going to like it, but we'll see. Then October, we got the man coming back. The legend Doyle Lawson Quicksilver will be back. Everybody loved Balsam Range. They'll be back in November. Hopefully, the county will get us to do another Christmas show. Even if they don't, we'll have a Christmas show. That'll be December the 5th. And that's the only show I'm worried about, because I don't know how in the world we're going to top the last one. I mean, we had a great show, and that's the only show I'm really concerned about. What are we going to do?
Success leads to success, though. I don't think you'll have to worry.
Every show we try to do something to make it a little better, and every season we're going to try to make better than the last season, and that's how we spend most of our time now, trying to figure out how we're going to make the next one better than the last one. So you're going to get your money's worth if you come. We don't want anybody leaving thinking they didn't. We've had people tell us we got $100 worth of entertainment for $10. You know, that's what we want to hear. We don't want anybody saying we didn't enjoy it. And so far, we've not had anybody say
Great.
that. So,
and tickets are available. Where can we purchase them?
You can get them right now at the Kitchen Design Center in Maynardville. And in the next couple of days, Woods Music will have some. They go online. I'm not sure when this will air, but they go online Monday, actually, January 20th. They should be up online. You can get them at UnionCountyOpry.com, Union County Opry on Facebook. We're redoing our website right now, so check it out, and give us a couple more weeks, and we'll have bios of each Opry band member and clips from last year's show, pictures and stuff like that on there. So check it out in a couple of weeks. Right now, it just kind of tells you when the shows are. But keep updated on our Facebook. Facebook, we try to go live every now and then and give you information. So like us on Facebook. Anytime we put something on Facebook, please share it. We've got a huge Facebook crowd right now.
That's great.
Huge Facebook crowd. All the way up the East Coast. And Facebook has helped us more than we spent about $5,000 last year on the radio and that kind of thing. And for the money, I mean, Facebook is where it's at.
Yeah, have you given any thought to season tickets?
We do. We've got season tickets available right now.
Great.
To be honest about it.
Great.
All these shows, if you're going to buy a season ticket, then you're going to buy it up front, you know.
Right.
So if you take the $25 or $30 value of the shows and you add it all together, you're going to be a little over $200. We'll let you have the season ticket for $150, and you can sit anywhere in the auditorium you want to sit, and that's your seat all year long. You can get there at 5 to 7 and go straight to your seat. Nobody be in it. It's yours.
You can't beat a deal like that.
That's worth a lot of money right there. That's worth a lot. So. And the season tickets is like a fundraiser for us. That's the money we use to get rolling, is the season ticket money and the sponsor money. So please go buy season tickets. They really help us out. If it had not been for them last year and some sponsors, we wouldn't be here this year. So
well, Danny,
I know that's a lot. I'm out of breath.
I have purely enjoyed getting to talk with you.
Well, you don't know how much we appreciate you.
I've learned so much that
And,
I mean, I knew you existed, but I didn't know all this good stuff.
well, you all got a good show coming up in what is it, March, the Primitive?
Second Saturday in March, the Lions
Yeah.
Club is sponsoring the Primitive Quartet at Union County High School.
Right.
County Line will be opening
Okay,
for them,
good,
one
good.
of our local gospel groups.
They play for us every time we
Yeah.
need them. They're our spare tire, County Line. They all come in and help us out. That's why we start in April. You all do the Primitive thing in March, and we don't want to interfere with that any whatsoever. So we start in April.
That's all it takes, working together.
We got to work together. We're
right.
a small county. We got to work together. So I wish you success with that. I'll be there. So I hope it goes well for you.
I'll promise you, I may even buy a season ticket to you this year.
I wish you would.
If my finances will support it.
I sure appreciate it.
Danny,
Dr.
dear
Mincey.
pleasure talking to you.
All righty. Thank you.
And thank you for tuning in to this segment of Uniquely Union. This is a series of interviews with Union County residents and business people who make our county great as it is, an even greater and better place to live. I'm Ronnie Mincey, and until next time, thank you for joining us.